Imagine being caught in the middle of Apple's laptop lineup. Neither a budget-friendly breeze nor a powerhouse beast. That's the spot the 14-inch MacBook Pro finds itself in. And now, with the shiny new M5 chip, it's sparking debates about whether this awkward machine deserves a closer look. Stick around, because this review dives into why it might just be the perfect laptop for screen lovers, even if it leaves others scratching their heads. The Apple M5. Just a step up from M4, let's talk about the chip at the heart of this update, the Apple M5. It's not a massive leap from the M4. It's more like an incremental upgrade, but one that packs a punch for certain tasks. Picture it as the next evolution in Apple's silicon saga, designed to handle AI and graphics with finesse. And this is the part most people miss. The M5 is the debut chip for Apple's 5th-generation lineup, teasing what's coming for the rest of their Mac family, possibly even the elusive Ultra variants. Credit to Andrew Cunningham for the MacBook Pro image. When recommending Mac laptops to friends or family, the entry-level 14-inch MacBook Pro often gets overlooked. It goes head-to-head with the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Air models, which are far more affordable and perfectly capable for everyday computing needs like browsing, emails, and casual streaming. This base Pro doesn't boast the advanced Pro or Max chips found in pricier models, which offer extra CPU cores for faster processing, superior graphics for gaming and design work, and more memory for heavy-duty tasks. But here's where it gets controversial. This affordable Pro could still be a smart pick for specific users who push their machines harder. Priced at $1,599, it's the most economical route to Apple's top-tier laptop display, featuring mini LED tech for vibrant colors and deep blacks, a speedy 120 Hz ProMotion rate that makes scrolling and animations buttery smooth, and an optional Nano-Texture matte finish that cuts down on annoying glare. Unlike the MacBook Air's fanless design, this Pro includes cooling fans, historically leading to steadier performance over long sessions without slowdowns. Plus, it's Apple's most wallet-friendly option, with 3 Thunderbolt ports, an HDMI slot, and an SD card reader. Handy for connecting cameras, monitors, and storage without juggling a bunch of adapters or a clunky dock, especially since the Air only has 2 ports. If none of that sways you, no worries. The latest M5 model tweaks little beyond swapping in the new processor. So, if you dismiss the M3 or M4 versions, this probably won't change your mind. Yet, it's intriguing as the maiden Mac sporting the M5, a sneak peek at future chips for nearly all Macs, with a possible nod to the Mac Pro. So, view it as a window into Apple's processor innovations, even if it's not your ideal purchase. Apple's Silicon MacBook Pro. Round 5. Apple has stuck with this laptop chassis for roughly 4 years, ever since launching the M1 Pro and M1 Max editions in late 2021. For those transitioning from older designs, like the Intel-based models with the Touch Bar that lingered for the initial M1 and M2 Pros, let's recap the essentials. This model sticks to a 14-inch screen, a jump from the previous 13-inch low-end Pro, though the notch at the top claims some vertical space. The screen edges beside the notch are usable for the menu bar and icons, but apps can't extend there. The build is uniformly thick, not tapered, with sharper, less curved edges compared to past versions. Versus the 13-inch Pro. The 14-inch model matches the thickness but tips the scales at 3.4 pounds, up from 3 pounds, and it's wider and deeper. For pros needing more workspace and those extra HDMI and SD ports, the size increase feels justified. It also boasts 3 Thunderbolt 3 ports, more than the Air's 2, and the revived MagSafe charger. Keep in mind, though, it's almost as heavy as the 15-inch MacBook Air. If bigger screen real estate is your only goal, the Air might still win out. Apple's bundled charger uses MagSafe, but you can still plug in USB-C alternatives, docks, or displays for charging if that's your preference. I have no complaints about Apple's current keyboard, consistent across Air and Pro lines in layout, spacing, and key size. If I had to nitpick, the Pro's keys feel a tad sturdier and more responsive, with a trackpad that's slightly more tactile. The speakers outshine the Airs, delivering richer bass and broader sound dynamics. The real standout reason to choose this budget Pro over the Air? The display. The 120Hz ProMotion Tech, enhanced brightness and contrast from mini LED, and optional matte Nano-Texture glaze make it a treat. As someone who doesn't fret much about glare on my Air, I always envy the Nano-Texture's reflection-free clarity, without the washed-out look of cheap screen protectors. It's especially valuable outdoors or in unpredictable lighting. If the boosted refresh rate and $150 matte upgrade don't excite you, or if budget is tight, this isn't your Mac. The 13-inch Air is lighter, the 15-inch Air bigger, and both cheaper. Remember, we're just 2 years from the M2 Pro, which lacked these ports and pro-grade screen perks. If you're eyeing an M4-powered MacBook Air, our M5 benchmarks might clue you in on whether to wait for an Air refresh in the coming months. Benchmarking the Apple M5. We've already covered M5 tests in our iPad Pro review, but macOS on a Mac gives us broader scope. Extra benchmarks, some demanding games, and command line tools to analyze power and efficiency. Recapping the specs, the M5 mirrors the M4's architecture with 4 high-performance CPU cores, 6 efficiency cores, a bump from the M1, M2, M3's 4, 10 GPU cores, and a 16-core neural engine for AI and machine learning. The upgrades are nuanced, not just faster clocks or more cores. For starters, memory bandwidth jumps 27.5% from the M4's 120 gigabytes per second to 153 gigabytes per second, thanks to quicker RAM and improved internal connections. This is crucial because GPUs often hit limits first from memory speed, so this directly boosts graphics. Imagine rendering a 3D game or video edit running smoother and quicker without bottlenecks. Apple added a neural accelerator to each GPU core, distinct from the main neural engine. This helps with tasks like graphics upscaling or frame generation, reducing delays and freeing the neural engine for other AI duties. They claim over 4x peak GPU compute versus the M4. Accelerating local AI models for language and image creation. Geekbench AI shows the neural engine itself is only 10% faster, so most gains come from GPU tweaks. Note on testing. Our M4 comparison used an iMac, not a Pro, but across generations, we've seen that basic M chips perform identically in cooled laptops and desktops. Comparing M5 to a passively cooled M4 Air isn't fair. But against the iMacs is. Each Apple chip generation sees modest gains, and M5 follows suit. We saw 12 to 16% single-thread CPU boosts, 20 to 30% multi-core, and about 40% in graphics tests, including Cyberpunk 2077's Mac benchmark. One outlier, Blender's GPU render, hit 60 to 70%, likely from memory or neural perks. Cumulatively, these add up. M5 is over twice M1 speed, nearing past Pro Max levels. The M5 Pro lags behind M4 Pro and will trail future M5 Pro even more, but it tops M3 Pro in CPU, matches its GPU closely. Multi-core CPU outpaces M1 Max. Single-core is 80% faster. Graphics can't touch older Max Ultra chips, yet for CPU-focused work under 32 gigabytes RAM, it competes well against recent high-end Apple silicon. This kind of progress used to be industry standard, but Intel, AMD, and Nvidia have slowed. Upgrading a 6 to 7-year-old PC yields gains, but a 3 to 4-year-old, hit or miss. The catch? M5 draws more power under full load than M4. Power metrics showed 28 watts average in handbrake encoding versus M4's 17 watts. Power comparisons between brands or generations are tricky, different reporting, but if accurate, it hints at higher clock speeds for performance gains. This fits as M5 uses TSMC's 3rd Gen 3nm N3P, a small step from M4's N3E. TSMC notes 5% more performance at same power, or 5 to 10% less power at same speed. To hit our measured boosts, power uptick makes sense. Context: M2 and M3 drew around 23 watts and 22.7 watts in encoding. M5 undercuts past Pro Max chips. Efficiency lags M4, but beats older gens. Apple still dominates Intel AMD in high-end efficiency. A solid chip in an odd laptop. The base MacBook Pro has always straddled lines. Overlapping Airs without high-end chips for larger pros. The M5 version continues this, and many will prefer M4 Airs. Still, it's a fine machine. If screen quality tops your list, the low-end Pro shines. The $150 matte option frustrates, but unavailable on Airs, and the panel with ProMotion feels fluid. I see it as a niche pick. Pricier than Airs, slower than Pros, but screen fans get ports and performance. It's more thrilling as M5 showcase eager for Pro, Max, maybe Ultra in other Macs. M5 has the highest power use of any M chip tested, but past efficiency gives leeway. Result? Blazing speed rivaling recent Pro Max. For Intel holdouts or aging M1 users, it's a tangible upgrade. Rarer now. The good M5 delivers strong performance, showcasing Apple's progress from M1. Sleek, practical design, solid keyboard trackpad, immersive speakers, flexible ports, and Apple's finest laptop screen. Nano-Texture option enhances looks and kills glare. The bad? Tough sell unless ProMotion screen is essential. Heavier than peers, almost as much as 15-inch Air. M5 consumes more power than M4. The ugly, steep RAM storage upgrades, plus $150 for matte display. Andrew Cunningham is a senior technology reporter at Ars Technica, specializing in consumer tech, hardware reviews, and OS deep dives like Windows and Mac OS. He resides in Philadelphia and co-hosts the weekly Overdue podcast. 17 comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think? Is the screen alone worth the extra cost on this awkward MacBook Pro? Or should Apple ditch this oddball and focus on Airs and Pros? Do you see the M5's power draw as a red flag? Or just the price of progress? Share your takes below. Agree, disagree, or offer your own twist on Apple's lineup.